Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for coming to this very important celebratory event. I'm Bill Anderson. I'm the Executive Director of MeckEd. Most of you already know that MeckEd is a nonpartisan, independent nonprofit that informs, educates, and engages our community around public education issues. MeckEd can think of no better way to fulfill our mission than by celebrating and honoring educators. And MeckEd is thrilled to have this opportunity to lead the community in thanking and applauding those who literally shape the lives of our future leaders each and every day. We know you're here because, like MeckEd, you know that teachers play an extremely critical role in the success of CMS, which in turn determines the overall health and vitality of our community. I would like to at this time also recognize the board members of MeckEd who are here and former board members. If you could please stand at this time, board members and former board members. I also ask those of you who have cell phones, that's probably everybody, if you could turn your cell phone to silent. Thank you. Thanks to the Mint Museum for allowing us to use this beautiful space. And throughout the evening, I do hope that you will feel very comfortable in getting up to go back to the bar or to get more food. Now it's my pleasure to ask Richard Nichols, one of our board members and Senior Vice President of Bank of America Merrill Lynch, to speak with us. Richard?
Good evening. Good evening. Again, my name is Richard Nichols, and I am a proud member of the board of MeckEd. As Bill was saying, MeckEd plays a vital role in highlighting both the challenges and the successes of what we're doing here in Charlotte in the Mecklenburg school system. We want to be, and I think we are, a trusted source of information. Someone asked me tonight, so I appreciate all you're doing. I see MeckEd on the signs, but what do you do? And I said, that's a very good question. And the answer is, we are the trusted source for information for what's going on in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system. But what's most important tonight are the teachers. And this is so important that we raise up our teachers. I have 3 kids, 2 that have now graduated from Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, 1 that is a freshman in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, and I know without a doubt that the teachers make a difference. So this isn't in my script, so you'll have to forgive me, Bill, but I'd like for all the honorees to stand up tonight. And we probably need to do that 10 times, but we do have a schedule. I mean, it's so important what you do, and it's so important that Bank of America is a sponsor for MeckEd, and the reason is for the students and for the teachers. But tonight's just a rare opportunity that you're recognized and that you're honored for what you do. I mean, it's so important. My sister is a teacher. I never would have guessed it. She used to boss me around a lot as a kid. But I never would have guessed it, but it's a love that she has, and I know you love what you do, and we just wanted to honor you tonight. Tonight is why I'm a member of MeckEd. It's for tonight. And tonight is why I personally support MeckEd, even though my institution I work for supports MeckEd as well. And so it's just an honor. I mean, I look out and I see you stood up, and it's just amazing to me that you do what you do. I tried to be a teacher for a day. I volunteered. I got home, I was asleep by 4:30. I woke up at 9:30 the next morning, and fortunately it was a Friday, so I didn't have to call in sick. So Saturday came. But what we want to do is make sure that this entire community rallies around the teachers. And as we go through change, and as we have gone through change, we know the consistency and the commitment that each and every teacher here tonight that's being honored has made. We can never thank you enough. So I'm going to ask the teachers to stand up one more time. We'll call this physical education, amateur exercise. But seriously, we at MeckEd do honor what you do, and we thank you for what you do. And now I'd like to introduce Kelly Chopas from Goodrich.
He's full of it tonight, huh? Okay, I'm not going to make you stand up again, but when I heard MeckEd was going to do this event, I knew Goodrich had to be a part of it. We're a global aerospace company that is located here. And we've been part of education, and some of you, we've been part of your schools for about 13 years now, so we're delighted to be here. Congratulations to all the honorees. We recognize that our future success as a company is really tied to the workforce development you do every day in your classrooms. Without you, none of us could be a success. So thank you very much. I'm going to give you a hand from here. You don't have to stand up. Let me tell you, though, that I'm also a parent of 3 kids in the CMS school system, and I can tell you that those teachers are a big deal to my kids. Every minute of every day, they impact their moods, their grades, and their futures. So thank you from the bottom of my heart as a mom. Finally, as I turn it back to my friend Bill, I'd just like to say thank you to MeckEd, because this community really needs the connecting that MeckEd does, the advocacy for public education, and quite frankly, the being out there in front of the issue. And so you should thank them for recognizing the need to recognize you. Have a great night.
Thank you, Kelly, but Kelly, don't go too far, because MeckEd wouldn't be able to fill our unique role if we didn't have the community helping us like they do. As I said earlier, MeckEd is a nonprofit, and we rely on donations from businesses, foundations, and individuals to sustain our program of work. This evening is possible only through the generous support of our amazing sponsors, and I'd like to take just a few minutes to recognize their tremendous investment in MeckEd, our teachers, and our schools. When I do call your name, I ask that you come up to the podium and let us thank you for your support. And Kelly, I said not to go far because we want to thank our leadership sponsor, Goodrich, Kelly Chopas. Thank you. I'd like to now thank our achievement sponsors. From Allen Tate Companies, someone who's been with MeckEd before it was MeckEd from the very beginning, and a guy who's got a heart of gold, Pat Riley. You've already seen this guy, and he's already had a little too much time already, but he's on my board, so he can do whatever he wants. That's Richard Nichols. Richard?
Can the teacher stand up one more time?
He said, can the teacher stand up one more time? Richard won't brag about his kids, but I will. Richard has 2 sons who are in college, and both of them are on full scholarship. And unfortunately, his wonderful wife, Sonia, can't be with us tonight because she's with the Women's Impact Fund right down the street. I would like to recognize our good friend from Wells Fargo and my friend, Patricia Zoder. And now I'd like to thank our educator sponsors. From Novant Health, we have Bernie Washington. Our friend from Ortho Carolina, Blair Primus. Blair? Thanks, Blair. It should also be noted that Ortho Carolina helped support the TEDx ED event a few months ago with all the technology, so thanks for that also, Blair.
Sure thing.
And now I'd like to thank our advocate sponsors. From Blue Cross Blue Shield, my friend Ellie Clary. Our good friend from the Charlotte Chamber, Lourdes Zapata. Our friend from the Charlotte Regional Visitors Authority, Tom Murray. This next person I've known probably for about 7 years, but it's funny how we all connect. I actually taught I was her principal to her two nephews' children. Her brother was a principal with me when I was in Shelby a long time ago, and that's Alicia McDonald from Duke Energy. Another board member and supporter of public education in our community, Dr. Cheryl Richards from Northeastern University. Our friend from Piedmont Natural Gas, Marty Klontz. Fellow board member and great friend of MeckEd, Luann Tucker from PricewaterhouseCoopers. We'd also like to thank our friend from Rogers, David Page. And we regret that our friend from Weyerhaeuser was not able to join us tonight, but if we could give a round of applause to Weyerhaeuser, we'd appreciate that also. I'd like to thank all of you. Without your support, we could not recognize these 40 outstanding teachers tonight. But I do have a special gift and special recognition that's going to be a surprise for everyone. And for more than a year, the YMCA of Greater Charlotte has focused its efforts to better support academic outcomes for all students, but especially for those students who attend our Title I schools. The Y's strategic focus areas are youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. But tonight, the Y joins us in inspiring learning and strengthening the foundations of our community. And in partnership with MeckEd, the YMCA of Greater Charlotte is offering a free 6-month family membership to each teacher of excellence and to the members of their household. So congratulations to all of you teachers. The Y believe that while it takes a village to raise a child, it really takes an entire community to educate one. The YMCA offers its thanks to MeckEd and to the community for allowing them to serve for over 137 years. I asked Michael Duvall, would you please step up and receive our thanks. Please thank Michael. For those of you who don't know Michael, Michael's one of those guys behind the scenes that makes things happen for public schools in our community. His children attend public schools. He is a constant advocate for public schools, and our community is very fortunate to have him and the YMCA. Thank you, Michael. Now it's my pleasure to pass the mic to a CMS parent and local advocate for public schools. She was elected to an at-large seat on the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School Board of Education in November 2011. Please welcome our current board chair, Erica Ellis Stewart. Erica?
Good evening. I know I'm not here by myself. Good evening. I have been asked tonight to talk about the value of a teacher. As a parent, I can tell you the value of a teacher is significant. I can tell you for each of the 13 years now that I've been a CMS parent, the role that teachers play in my life and the lives of my children has been phenomenal. What happens to your child when you drop them off on the first day of school as a 5-year-old? The teacher is there to greet them. They wrap their arms around them, and they become the second parent. They become the surrogate. They replace you in the schoolhouse in caring for your child, nurturing them, and putting expectations on the table that they will succeed, they will achieve, and they will do well. They will be productive. The value of a teacher is priceless. You see the MasterCard commercials and they give you the prices for different things that happen. Every time you see a CMS teacher, priceless pops up because what they're doing in our community is not only a significant investment in children and their lives and their well-being, but it's priceless. We cannot put a price tag on it. We cannot put a numerical value to it because what you do each and every day, you pour your blood, your sweat, your tears, your life, your passion into our kids. I get emotional just thinking about it. I know the teachers that I had growing up. Without them, I would not be where I am today. So just know that in your work, you are influencing, you're molding, but more than that, you're producing young people who go into this world and do great things. Without you, they would not be able to do it. Without you, parents would not be able to do it. It takes a village, it takes a teacher. It takes a teacher to make this work. And so on behalf of the board, on behalf of the community, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart as a parent and as a board member for what you do each and every day. Thank you so much. I hope that as you leave and as you're here this evening, you take to heart the quote that's on the front of our program. It says, "A teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops." Henry Brooks Adams. This is so true and so apropos. So thank you for not allowing your influence to stop. It continues with each one of our children. Thank you. And I'm supposed to bring up Mr. Hatterbaugh.
It's truly a pleasure to be here this evening. All of us, as stated earlier by our board chair, remember a teacher who influenced us. All of us has had at least one teacher who took some special interest in us, helped us advance academically and intellectually. We've had a teacher who helped us achieve more than we thought we could, who helped us stretch and grow. Teachers like that, teachers like that are being recognized, the 40 teachers this evening, that remain vivid and clear in our memories for a lifetime. It's one part of the legacy of great teaching. Your students remember you long after they've left your classroom. All the teachers here tonight have shown excellence in teaching. I'm sure that some days in the classroom it feels like an uphill battle that you're fighting alone, but it's not. And that's what tonight's event is about. Teachers don't always get the recognition they deserve from families and the community, but tonight we recognize the tremendous value that all of you bring in the classroom and to our community, as well as the difficulty achieved to the jobs you do. Teaching is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. At Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, we do value great teachers. That's why we made effective teaching part of the first goal in our 2014 strategic plan. Effective teaching is paramount and the focus. And that's why we're asking Mecklenburg County to help fund a long overdue salary increase for teachers and other employees. What great teachers do has great value for all of us, and we want to recognize that financially as well as in other ways. I have to be honest and tell you that the future of that salary increase is not clear at this time. We've made some incremental gains in what was presented last evening. I'm hoping for the best because as the interim superintendent, I see the great work that goes on in our schools every day, day after day. I've been a teacher, a principal, and I know the effort and expertise it takes to do the jobs well. MeckEd, which is the host of tonight's event, knows what it takes too. That's why this event was organized by MeckEd to thank you for the great work you do. We appreciate the board, Dr. Bill Anderson, for providing this opportunity to recognize all of you for excellence. And we appreciate you, our teachers. Thank you for sticking with CMS through the good times and the hard times. And thank you for remaining steadfast for your students and to increasing their academic progress. You are valued and your work brings benefits almost beyond measure to students and the rest of us. Thank you for the great job you do each and every day.
Well, now you've heard from the community leaders, the business community, the CMS leadership, but the real reason we came here tonight is to hear about you, the teachers. The entire community wants to applaud you and dedicate you for the success that you've had. I want to share a bit about how we selected the first class of MeckEd Teachers of Excellence. With the help of Ann Clark and her team of zone superintendents, we put out a call to every principal to nominate a teacher who's mastered instructional practices and who is a leader in his or her own school and professional community. We then collaborated with CMS to complete the extremely difficult task of narrowing down the group to 40 teachers that we'll be recognizing tonight. And I can tell you that was very, very difficult. We would like to express our sincere gratitude to Hugh Hattabaugh and his office, Ann Clark and her staff, and Andy Baxter and his human capital team for enabling us to make this a truly selective and honorable award. For each and every teacher that you're going to meet tonight, we could have easily spent 10, 15, 20 minutes sharing the achievements, the mind-blowing work that they've done, and a mile-long list of student clubs, district initiatives, and school-wide activities they support above and beyond their job descriptions. But we didn't want to keep you here until midnight. And we also know that teachers turn into pumpkins after 10 o'clock. And we know that that alarm clock rings really early tomorrow morning. But we want you to forget about that right now. And I want to remind you that the bar is still open. And the food's still on the tables. So teachers don't know how to act sometimes in these environments, so have some fun tonight. Sorry, Julie, I had to go off the script a little bit there. So tonight, all we're going to do is share with you the highlights. But please keep in mind, to all the impressive accomplishments and contributions you're about to hear about, each of these teachers is leading their students to more than 1 year's worth of growth in 1 year. They're doing the equivalent of hitting a grand slam in their classroom every year. So when I call your name, I ask that each teacher come up and join me on the stage, and MeckEd will be presenting you with your plaque, but also your 6-month YMCA membership. So let us begin. And we have a little special treat for you halfway through the event as well. Let me please introduce Randy Kirsten, a language arts teacher from Albemarle Road Middle School. Randy, come on up. Mr. Kirsten is known for providing one of the most challenging courses in the school. His classroom is often open to visitors and other teachers who are interested in seeing students engaged in critical thinking. That first step's a tough one. From the beginning to the end of every class. His 7th graders frequently immerse themselves in above grade level practices. Mr. Kirsten has led the school to win the regional Shakespeare recitation competition at Wingate University 3 years in a row. Mr. Kirsten is able to challenge his students to think deeply about a text through his genuine interest in the curriculum and the students' authentic interest in the topics. Thank you, Randy Kirsten. Next, I would like to recognize Holly Brannon, math teacher from Ashley Park Pre-K-8. Miss Brannon models every day what every child deserves to have waiting for them at school. The students on her grade level fight to get into her math class, even if it means missing out on recess or lunchtime. How many of y'all used to want to miss recess or lunchtime? Miss Brannon can give a student the look, and that's all it takes to get them on the right track. Did I just get the look? Yeah. I remember that. If one of her students gets into trouble in another class and is sent to the office, Miss Brannon will call the principal's office to have that student sent to her class so they don't miss instruction. Miss Brannon provides to our kids every day that school is important and that she isn't giving up on them even when they make those mistakes. Congratulations, Holly Brannon. Cynthia Will, elementary school teacher, Behringer Academic Center. Miss Will very conscientiously attends professional development trainings and conferences, then brings the information back to school to share with her colleagues. She is a proponent of character education and encourages character ed among students and staff. She is adored by parents and works with the PTA to promote the school. She is all about solutions. She's willing to do anything asked of her and often steps up to volunteer her own ideas about what is needed. She is highly intelligent and an extremely compassionate professional educator. Cynthia Will. Joanna Scamitzi, biology teacher, Butler High School. Ms. Scamitzi teaches biology to all levels of students and is driven to do everything she can to help them succeed. She consistently enables her students to perform at high levels and to reach ambitious growth goals. In the fall of 2011, 100% of her students scored proficient and 94 met their growth goal on the biology EOC test. I want you to understand that. The biology test is hard. I mean hard. I dare say many of us wouldn't score proficient. So for her to have 100% of her students proficient, that's very impressive. Joanna is deeply committed to students outside the classroom and has worked to establish a mentoring program for at-risk students. She is truly an asset to Butler High School and the entire CMS community. Joanna Scamitzi. Reagan Kenny, elementary school teacher, Cotswold Elementary. Miss Kenny is a phenomenal fourth grade teacher who has received accolades over the years for utilizing innovative strategies to meet the needs of all her students. Her fellow educators are astounded by the level of engagement, rigor, and differentiation in her classroom. Miss Kenny is relentless in her commitment to each individual student and works diligently to integrate the IB curriculum throughout all subject areas. She is a fourth grade team leader and is the role model and mentor for many teachers in her building. Reagan Kenny. Alexandra Procuniar, Spanish teacher, Coolwood Middle. Ms. Procuniar has been called the most positive and energetic teacher at Coolwood Middle School. She works collaboratively with the English as a second language teacher and other elective teachers to support teachers through recognition rallies and school competitions. Although not required to, she has spent countless hours with a student who recently moved to the U.S., speaks no English, and had not been in school since the 2nd grade. She works with him daily on his reading and writing in Spanish, knowing he cannot be fully successful until he first masters his native language. Ms. Percuniar has partnered with neighboring schools to raise money to take Coolwood students to the Dominican Republic to be involved in mission work. Ms. Percuniar is a second-year Teach for America Corps member and truly embodies the TFA ideal that all children can achieve at high levels. Alexandra Percuniar. Amber Wagner, elementary school teacher, Crown Point Elementary. Ms. Wagner gives her students the tools they need to be successful and constantly reinforces their effort by providing recognition of their accomplishment. 100% of her math students scored 3 or higher on the end of grade test last year. She goes above and beyond for her limited English proficiency students, providing free and after-school tutoring for those needing extra help. She is also a leader among her peers by serving as a grade-level chair, data committee member, professional development committee member, and participates in the Gates Foundation Intensive Measures of Effective Teaching Research Study. Amber Wagner. Sophronia Caldwell, Druid Hills Academy elementary school teacher. Ms. Caldwell sets high expectations from the minute student walk in her class and never lets those expectations slide. She garners, reciprocates, and embellishes a high level of mutual respect in the classroom, school, and community. She has taken on the leadership of being a chair of the 5th grade team, and her team works together like a well-oiled machine. Ms. Caldwell has also allowed the school to extend her influence and impact by arranging the schedule in order for every 5th grade student to have her for literacy instruction. Her students make at least 2 years of academic growth each year they spend with her. At Druid Hills, it's called the Caldwell Factor. Sophronia Caldwell. Robin Kolodzi, East Mecklenburg High School biology teacher. Ms. Kolodzi's student achieved 98.3% proficiency last semester. The relationship she builds with her students goes beyond the classroom, thereby enhancing her classroom instruction. Engagement in the classroom is her strong point. Mrs. Kolodzi consistently provides a variety of opportunities for her students to ask questions, think creatively, synthesize knowledge, apply skills, and draw conclusions in class discussions, lab activities, and work assignments. One CMS Central Office Administrator with 20+ years in CMS told us, Ms. Kolodzi is truly one of the best classes I've ever observed. Robin Kolodzi. Mia Smith, Garinger High School, Civics and Economics. Ms. Smith has had a significant impact on academic achievement at her school, as well as on its culture. One of her greatest strengths is her ability to effectively communicate and build professional working relationships with diverse groups of people, ranging from troubled students and their parents to fellow colleagues and administrators. This year, Ms. Smith leads a school-wide professional development where teachers examine the PISA International Assessment data to set the tone for discussion on academic achievement. She is extremely focused on results and masterfully uses data to drive her instructional decisions. Prior to teaching, Ms. Smith was a lobbyist in the nation's capital. These days, she spends her time advocating for children. Mia Smith. Marion Latham, English as a Second Language, Highland Creek Elementary. Ms. Latham's tireless efforts to promote reading, speaking, listening, and necessary vocabulary to English language learners are inspiring. As an advocate for her students, Ms. Latham uses her personal time to bring ELL students to after-school events, tutors them for free, and will spend her time over the summer taking students to swim lessons or camps. Her exceptional teaching is evidenced by student assessment scores, but those scores do not capture the amount of love, care, and attention she has provided to the students and their families each year. Ms. Latham is a consummate professional who supports students far beyond the four walls of her classroom. Marion Latham. James Cross, Algebra 1, Hopewell High School. Mr. Cross goes so far and above the typical teacher job description. His principal receives unsolicited compliments from Mr. Cross from the other teachers who see him as an extremely hard worker and one who consistently uses every bit of his class time every day. His colleagues are not surprised that Mr. Cross's students consistently excel on the Algebra 1 exam. Mr. Cross is always striving to develop and improve as an educator as he tries to instill his never give up attitude on his students. James Cross. Emily Neal, J.M. Robinson Middle math teacher. Ms. Neal has taken the lead in her math department to implement literacy in the content area on a regular basis. She has helped to develop and teach the extended day program to help her students prepare for end-of-grade tests. She has worked closely with her team to incorporate new Common Core standards to enhance student learning. She expertly uses data to guide her instruction and to chart student progress. In addition, she understands the needs of all students and is able to utilize differentiation as a means to ensure their success. Ms. Neal embodies the term student-centered so well. Emily Neal. Cindy Dye, Lake Wiley Elementary science teacher. Ms. Dye is not only an effective educator in the classroom, but she also provides Lake Wiley students opportunities to engage in learning outside of the school day. She leads the school's Science Olympiad team and science club. This year, she planned, organized, and implemented a kids' science night out. During this event, students use scientific principles to observe, explore, and create through hands-on science lab experiments. Ms. Dye is not the only teacher of students, but she is a teacher of teachers. She leads professional development for the staff and was selected to serve on CMS's STEM leadership cadre to facilitate the implementation of science essential standards. She is always looking for ways to build staff members' skills and understanding with the end goal of increasing student learning constantly top of mind. Cindy Dye. Michelle Strantz, Mallard Creek High language arts teacher. Mrs. Strantz is a strong leader among the Mallard Creek staff and is proactive about adapting to change. In her language arts classroom, she uses strategies to keep instruction fun and engaging, is remarkable at getting the best out of each and every learner. She quickly establishes positive personal relationships with students, and soon they work far beyond the level they thought they could, because they want to please her and live up to her expectations. This year, she has been the English department co-chair and has led many site-based professional development sessions. She is highly regarded by staff, students, and parents for her passion for teaching and her proactive support of school-wide goals. Michelle Strantz. Samantha Mazzoni, Martin Luther King Middle science teacher. Upon entering Miss Mazzoni's science classroom, one simply becomes mesmerized by the passion she has for her content and her commitment to ensuring that every child in her classroom experiences success. Mrs. Mazzoni doesn't occasionally have an awesome day or a wonderful lesson. Every day in her classroom and every lesson is worthy of praise. She consistently teaches at a level that every principal would love to see replicated in every classroom in the district. The commitment to excellence Ms. Mazzoni brings to every aspect of teaching and learning is clearly unmatched. Samantha Mazzoni. Okay, at this point, I'm going to take a short break in the action, and we're going to ask that you, the audience, weigh in on some pressing issues in public education. If you've ever attended a MeckEd event, you know it's time for you to get out your phones. So I know teachers are constantly telling students, put your phones away. I'm going to take them, but we're asking you to take your phones out. We're going to ask you to vote, and you can vote in one of three ways. You can text message, Twitter, or via a browser on your phone. But for many of you and the experiences we've had with this, texting is clearly the easiest thing to do. But you may have a standard texting rate of 20 cents, so please don't send us the bill for 20 cents. Here's the question. In your opinion, what is the key to closing the achievement gap in CMS? We know educators and non-educators alike have thoughts on this, and we want to hear from all of you. Now, here's how you do this if you haven't done it before. To cast your vote, you will enter this number at the very top, 22333, where you would regularly enter a contact number. This achievement gap is serious business, I want you to know. Serious business. Big man's telling us. It really is, all kidding aside. Thank you. Now, this is going to be a multiple choice answer. So you're going to enter that number, 22333, where you put your contact, and then enter the keyword corresponding to the option choice in the body of the text message. So does everybody understand that? And if you don't, we have some of this wonderful MeckEd staff. Just raise your hand a little bit if you don't understand that. And all of a sudden, the votes will start popping up. There they go. What matters most? So the question again, what in your opinion, what is the key to closing the achievement gap in CMS? The first one is learning opportunities beyond the traditional day. Second, a highly effective teacher in every classroom. Third, access to pre-kindergarten. Fourth, increased parental involvement. And last, access to technology. What matters most? If you're having any trouble with this, we're happy to help you. Okay, we have 88 people who have voted already. If you look at the bottom, it talks about the numbers that have voted. So this is, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time here, but we find at MeckEd that when we engage the community in events, that we need to know what you think. And so this has worked very well for us as we try to engage the community. So We have now 95 people who voted, which is about half of you, so that's good. And it looks as though a highly effective teacher is in first place, which I would vote for myself. So this is something that we try to do, but we are going to move on at this time, and we're going to get back to those phenomenal teachers. And don't forget that the bar is still open and there's still plenty of food. And I'm being told to hurry up, Bill. So Bill's going to hurry up. Our next great teacher, and let's make sure that we recognize Miss Angie Blankenship from Mint Hill Middle School, who's an exceptional children's inclusion teacher. Angie? Miss Blankenship is such a collaborative and adept co-teacher that in her classes it's hard to determine which teacher is the general curriculum teacher and which is the EC inclusion teacher. EC, by the way, stands for Exceptional Children. The first thing that visitors to her classroom notice is the edifying, confidence-building tone that she uses in all of her conversations with students. You can sense, and they do, that she genuinely believes in each of them and expects them to be successful. Ms. Blankenship's passion and enthusiasm for students is something she cannot contain, and she is a source of encouragement to the other teachers and is always positive about her mission to educate kids. Andy Blankenship. Christine Beau-Antoine, EC Behavioral Specialist at Morgan School. When students walk into Miss Beau-Antoine's class, they are immediately engaged in learning and held responsible for modulating their behaviors, as well as meeting her high academic standards. She makes learning relevant and rigorous for all students, in spite of their disabilities. She leads students to become independent thinkers while also teaching them to work in teams to develop their leadership skills. This is a major accomplishment, giving her exceptional children's students natural instinct to work alone and mistrust others. She is ethical and professional at all times and understands the importance of setting boundaries with students, staff, and parents. She is a positive force who is firm but fair with students and readily advocates for them. Christine Beau-Antoine. Tasha Areola, elementary teacher, Myers Park Traditional. Miss Areola willingly teaches those students who struggle most with reading and is annually Myers Park Traditional's top teacher when measured by students' academic growth. She also works closely with Queen's University to help facilitate the school's ongoing tutorial program. She is a lifelong learner who frequently attends conferences and facilitates professional development workshops for the entire staff. She is determined that all of her students will be successful and committed to them as learners. Tasha Areola. Amanda Ulmer, math teacher, Northeast Middle School. Ms. Ulmer does a remarkable job of creating a rapport with students and pushing them to learn as much as possible. Her enthusiasm for her students' learning and develop is evident every single day. She is a master at classroom management and gladly mentors others and takes on additional leadership responsibilities and acts as a cheerleader for her teammates. Ms. Ulmer advocates for students every chance she gets and acts as a proud ambassador for Northeast when she is out and about in the larger community. Amanda Ulmer. Iris McConeyhead, Language Arts, Northridge Middle. Ms. McConeyhead excels at student engagement. She consistently uses her high-yield instructional strategies to meet the needs of all students in her classroom. She truly makes learning a priority in her classroom, and she uses her talents to bring out the best in her students. enabling them to maximize their potential. Ms. McConaughey serves as a teacher leader at Northridge Middle School, supporting her colleagues and exemplifying a student-centered approach. Iris McConaughey. Dylan Marshall, Northwest School of the Arts, Language Arts. Mr. Marshall teaches his English students to be critical thinkers and devotes significant time and energy into growing and empowering students. He facilitates peer instructional coaching and acts as a teacher development coach for Teach Charlotte. Mr. Marshall makes 21st century skills such as financial literacy real and relevant for his students. His students' proficiency rates are extraordinarily high and demonstrate that Mr. Marshall is closing achievement gaps in his classroom. Mr. Marshall has said, "There is not a day when I take for granted how lucky I am to have my students. No one should be allowed to have as much fun as I do at work." Susan DeWin, Olympic High School, International Studies and Global Economics, English as a second language. Ms. DeWin is truly a masterful English as a second language teacher. She has been instrumental in establishing the response to intervention model at the school. She is a leader among her peers and a constant advocate for students. She encourages colleagues in the pursuit of improving the instruction for all ESL students across all their courses. Ms. DeWin notices areas where staff can improve, such as lesson design and delivery, and then leads staff development that will enhance results for students. Ms. DeWin is the ideal champion for ESL students and for the teaching profession. Susan DeWin. Tricia Barnes Parkins, Philip O'Berry Academy of Technology, English teacher. Ms. Barnes Parkins is a highly effective English teacher and an extremely child-centered educator. Just 2 weeks into the new school, she had already built such rapport with her students that when introduced at an assembly, her students gave her a standing ovation after 2 weeks. You can walk past her classroom and see her working intensely with students before and after school. She founded an SAT, ACT peer tutorial program and is co-chair of the Teaching and Learning Cohort, a newly created teacher leadership group at the school whose sole responsibility is to bring teacher leadership opportunities to scale. Tricia Barnes Parkins. Joni Strama, Providence Spring Elementary School. Ms. Strama is a fabulous educator and a role model for her colleagues. In the very same lesson, she is capable of ensuring success with struggling students while also challenging the high-achieving students. She is positive and professional, easily establishing relationships with students, colleagues, and parents. She is adept at teaching 21st century skills and motivating each student to achieve at high levels. Her test scores have consistently been in the top 10% of all CMS teachers. Her classroom is conducive to all learners. Her instruction is hands-on, differentiated, and individualized. Joni Struma. Michael Pillsbury, Randolph Middle School, math teacher. Not only does Mr. Pillsbury show his students his love of mathematics, he draws them in to share a passion for the content. He has embraced the new Common Core math standards, even serving as a demo classroom for other middle school math teachers to see how the transition to Common Core can take place without sacrificing student achievement. He provides daily tutoring, not only for students in his class, but for any student. He coaches Randolph's National Academic League team, which 2 years ago won the national championship for middle schools. He worked with the Charlotte Teachers Institute and helped to coordinate the Julia Robinson Math Day for young female math students at UNC Charlotte and Davidson College. Mr. Pillsbury is the teacher that all parents want for their children. Michael Pillsbury. Kathy Weir, Reedy Creek Elementary. Ms. Weir is the educator that administrators know can work with every child. She welcomes every student with open arms, especially the ones with the most behavioral and academic challenges. Ms. Weir sees every student as her child and makes sure their needs are met, even when it comes out of her own pocket. Ms. Weir is a veteran teacher with over 25 years of experience. Still, she is at the front of the pack in seeking opportunities to grow and develop her craft. She leads professional development for her peers and always works with colleagues to seek solutions to problems. Ms. Weir is at almost every school function and is an iconic member of the Reedy Creek staff. Kathy Weir. Kezia Haynes, River Oaks Academy Elementary School. While approaching Mrs. Haynes' classroom, one can hear and feel the buzz about learning that her strategically planned lessons have generated. Students are excited, engaged, curious, researching, blogging, collaborating, and most importantly, making the academic and intellectual growth that is expected of them with a smile. Metacognition is a staple. They are always thinking, how to, what if, defending, constructing, creating, thinking about their thinking. Ms. Haynes' her outstanding teaching is valued by students, colleagues, parents, administrators, and alike. Kezia Haynes. Stephanie Dixon, Sharon Elementary. Ms. Dixon served Sharon School and CMS in many varying roles, all to the great benefit of our students and community. In addition to serving as the grade chairperson for the 4th grade team, she serves on several district-wide committees, including the CMS Talent Effectiveness Project, teaching working teams. She eagerly and proactively seeks professional development opportunities to learn new strategies and programs. Ms. Dixon unofficially mentors many new teachers on her team, and her patience and dedication to helping all students and staff members succeed makes her an asset to the Sharon School and to CMS. Stephanie Dixon. Debbie Britt, South Charlotte Middle, Language Arts. This year, and in past years, Mrs. Britt has taken the most difficult situations, and we're talking about student behavior, low academic performance, and these students have been successful in her classroom, acing the EOGs and moving on into high school and middle school well prepared. She is the head of South Charlotte's Middle SLT and a mentor to teachers applying for National Board Certification. Each year, Ms. Britt coordinates a History Comes Alive program for students at the Levine Museum of the New South, and various other guests come in to speak to her students and act out moments in history. Ms. Britt is tenacious in working to meet the needs of her students and represents the epitome of a star teacher in every way. Debbie Britt. Diana Schell, South Mecklenburg High School, Advanced Placement Chemistry and Earth and Environmental Studies. Ms. Shell strives to help her students make connections with the environment and to develop them to be global citizens. She has worked with students to found Sabres Stand Against Indifference, a service group that has involved several hundred students and raised tens of thousands of dollars over the past several years. In addition, several South Meck students have had the opportunity to travel and work in Africa and Haiti as a direct result of their work with SSAI. She has also been the creator and coordinator of an outdoor eco lab being constructed outside the school's new science building. Ms. Shell's drive to expose students to new learning opportunity is truly unmatched, and the ripple effect of her leadership is felt throughout the school. Diana Shell. Rosalind Henson, math teacher, Southwest Middle School. Ms. Henson has supported Southwest Middle's movement towards the Common Core standards and has been instrumental in modeling the connections between the traditional standards and Common Core. She recently took on writing the probability units for all grade levels, a significant undertaking that Ms. Henson saw as an opportunity to work with all teachers through vertical teaming that would benefit the curriculum this year and for many years to come. Ms. Henson's concern for her students and love for teaching as both an art and craft enable her to reach students where they are and pull them up way beyond expectations. Ms. Henson is an outstanding teacher who gives wholeheartedly, serving students each and every day. Rosalind Henson. Can't leave just yet. Jody Israelo, Stony Creek Elementary PE teacher, and I might add our only PE teacher. Ms. Israelo takes on leadership roles with enthusiasm. In her 13 years of service to CMS, she's become a leader in the field of physical education by obtaining her national board certification, working at the district level in implementation of PE essential standards, serving on an integrated writing committee, and assisting with a research study for a local university. In addition, her service extends far past the walls of the gym. She co-teaches math in the 4th grade classroom during daily math clubs, and the class has consistently demonstrated high growth. She has also held multiple leadership positions, been a supportive mentor to new teachers, and has dedicated her career to supporting fitness and the well-being of her students. Jody Israelo. Susan Thomason, elementary school teacher at Thomasboro Academy. Mrs. Thomason has many strengths as a classroom teacher due to the exceptional work ethic that she maintains each and every day. Her greatest and most priceless strength is her ability to form and build relationships in her classroom. When one enters Mrs. Thomason's room, there is an air of family throughout. She reaches and teaches all students and is able to show high growth with the majority of the students she teaches. If every child had a teacher like Ms. Thomason each year of elementary school, we would be sending our scholars to West Charlotte above grade level and ready to graduate high school and move on to college. She is the kind of teacher that CMS would like to clone many times over. And many of y'all may have read about her Sunday in the Observer. There was a very nice editorial piece and it highlighted Ms. Thomason. Susan Thomason. Rashima Norris, University Meadows Elementary, pre-K. Ms. Norris's fantastic attitude helps bridge the gap between her fellow pre-K teachers and the K-5 grade teachers. With 11 new pre-K classes joining University Meadows this year, Ms. Norris knew it was going to take extra effort to urge the two teams to get to know each other and to build cohesion. In the face of many school-wide changes, Ms. Norris has been a catalyst for individuals coming together as one big family. She has shown that she is highly capable of keeping all of her colleagues focused on the task at hand, the education of our children. Her contagious enthusiasm for teaching and helping others is felt by all in the building. Rashima Norris. Kira Michow, Walter G. Byers Elementary School. Ms. Michow is talented at recognizing her students' strengths and weaknesses and implementing a variety of strategies to help them learn and be successful. She has extremely high expectations and never gives up on a child. She gets to know her kids and builds relationships with them so they trust her and want to work hard for her. Visitors to Mrs. Michow's class see active learning, whether it's working in groups to build and analyze bridge constructs, going around the room answering different word problems posted on the walls, engaging in literature discussions, participating in hands-on science experiments. Ms. Michow's passion, enthusiasm, and willingness to support the whole child make her an invaluable asset to her school. Kira Michow. Lynetta Witherspoon, Westerly Hills Academy. Ms. Witherspoon has dedicated herself to the students of Westerly Hills Academy for over 10 years. She impacts students' lives by inspiring, encouraging, and challenging them to soar higher. She is truly the adult they don't want to disappoint. Ms. Witherspoon is a lifelong learner who constantly strives to improve her own skills as well as the skills of her fellow CMS teacher. She serves as a professional development model teacher, supporting educators across our district. Her colleagues look to her as an instructional leader and as a model educator who puts the needs of her students above all else. Lynetta Witherspoon. Danielle Bellar, Wingate Park Elementary. Miss Bellar is a master teacher that teachers adore and teachers also look up to. She is a fearless innovator. She will try any new strategy if it might benefit the students. Miss Bellar effectively incorporated instructional technology and leads other teachers in doing the same. Miss Bellar is constantly reflecting on her instruction and collaborating with colleagues to find new solutions. Her commitment to her students is evident in their high performance on assessments, but also in the support and care she provides for them day in and day out. Danielle Bellar. Amanda Hudson, Winterfield Elementary. Ms. Hudson has been enthusiastically planting the seeds of knowledge as a fifth grade teacher at Winterfield Elementary School for 11 years. While she receives many accolades and praise for her instructional mastery, what she finds most rewarding is building trusting relationships and making meaningful connections with students. She believes in her ability to form positive relationships with students, gives them the will to persevere to overcome any challenge. Ms. Hudson encourages a thirst for knowledge and embodies the sign above her door, free knowledge, bring your own container. Amanda Hudson. I hope I can get through this one. Finally, Paul Jackson, Providence High School, band teacher. It is with both joy and sadness that we recognize Mr. Paul Jackson, who lost his battle with cancer in February, just weeks after his principal, Tracy Harrell, nominated him for this award. Mr. Jackson worked well beyond the school day, during holidays, and all summer to ensure that the Providence High School band program was second to none. He spent countless hours reviewing music and preparing for competitions, all with a positive and giving spirit. His band won Band Beat, the most prestigious award available for marching bands, for the last 3 consecutive years. I can tell you that's unheard of. He was selected to direct the all-district band this year, and you should have seen the excitement in his face as he talked about the great opportunity. He frequently assisted the 8th grade bands at Providence's feeder schools and also partnered with the middle school band directors so they could coach and guide their former students. This was collaboration at its finest. I will read to you Miss Harrell's words. Miss Harrell's his principal. Mr. Jackson's been living with cancer for several years. While his illnesses are not the reason he is a star teacher, one needs to understand the awesome obstacles he overcame each day just to be able to come to school, much less do the stellar job that he does. Just last week, he spent the night in the hospital getting blood transfusions. He was released from the hospital at 6 a.m., got dressed, and came to school to teach. When diagnosed with leukemia, the doctors wanted to start treatment right away, but Paul wanted to conduct the all-district band before the treatment started. Truly, beyond a shadow of a doubt, he places his job and these students as a top priority. It is with great pleasure that we announce MeckEd is naming an award after Mr. Jackson. In future years, the MeckEd Teachers of Excellence, who most embodies his ideals of unyielding dedication to students, will be honored with the Paul Jackson Award. Mr. and Mrs. Jackson, would you please come up and accept this award on Paul's behalf? Very tough to follow that, but I'm excited to share a special video message from our next superintendent, Heath Morrison.
Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to join the celebrations and the accomplishments here tonight. My name is Heath Morrison. I'm the proud new incoming superintendent of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. When I'm asked what I'm going to do as the new superintendent, I hope what I'm going to be able to do is exactly what we're doing here tonight, to reach out to outstanding teachers, to hear about your accomplishments, and understand better how we can support your important work. The MeckEd Teachers of Excellence were recognized for having outstanding student achievement growth and to be valuable contributors to professional learning communities in each of their schools. You are heroes in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg community, and you are to be commended for having the most important jobs in the United States today. I also want to extend my thank you to MeckEd for not only having this opportunity tonight to recognize outstanding educators, but for all of your partnerships and what you do to help the 140,000 students of our school district. When I officially start in July, I want to come and visit each one of these outstanding teachers tonight. I want to listen to you. I want to hear what we're doing well as a school district and listening to you what we can do better. I really want to spend time in your classes and see your excellence in action with our students. Again, thank you for what you're doing. Margaret Mead once said that never doubt a small group of people can change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever really has. The 40 teachers being recognized tonight with MeckEd's Teachers of Excellence are changing the world, one student at a time. On behalf of our Board of Education, we thank you for what you're doing.
We greatly appreciate Heath Morrison thanking MeckEd, and I would be remiss as the Executive Director of MeckEd if I didn't recognize my staff. If you could raise your hands, please. Over here. We are a small staff. We're lean and mean, but I am very fortunate to have some very gifted young women that work with me and make me look good. So thank you all very much. I'm going to end tonight's event leaving you with a couple of questions, a few requests. My request to the teachers is go back to your schools and share this feeling that you have tonight. Let them know, let your fellow teachers know how much we appreciate each and every one of them. As a former principal, the most important thing I ever did was not just hire a good teacher, but keep them. It is more difficult than ever to do this work. The past 4 years have been difficult, and I don't want this to turn political, but thank you, teachers, for all that you do, and I hope you share this joy and your contagious enthusiasm with your colleagues when you go back to school tomorrow morning, because the alarm clock will go off real early again. My request to our community members, I challenge you to tell all your friends about how important it is for us to value the profession of teaching. Teachers are the cornerstone of our schools, and public schools are the cornerstone of our democracy. We must support teaching. We must pay for teaching. That's unpopular these days, but it can't be done for free. Please, I ask our community members, go out and talk to all your friends, your colleagues, your elected officials. Let them know how important it is for us to value the profession of teaching and also to value public schools. Our kids need you. CMS needs you. Around the country, we are perceived as an outstanding school district, but sometimes in our own backyard, we don't see ourselves that way. I want to thank all the media for being here tonight to promote teachers. We appreciate everything you do. And thank you all for coming. This is the first annual MeckEd Teachers of Excellence Award, but I can assure you that there will be many more. We ask the teachers also one little task. Teachers, you all need to come up here to the stage over here for a picture. So those 40 MeckEd Teachers of Excellence, if we could get you to stay for just a moment for a picture. And thanks to everyone else tonight. Good evening.